we're going to make sticky buns. But these particular recipes are going to be a little bit different than you're probably used to it. It will have a beautiful glaze on them, and it'll have a really good filling inside with nuts, but I like to call them sticky buns. So let's get started. First of all, you can make the dough by hand or in your bread dough machine. I'm going to give you the recipe right off, and it's also going to be below the video. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, 1/3 cup of warm water, that's 110 Fahrenheit, 1 cup milk at room temperature, and 2 sticks of unsalted butter that's been in room temperature and cut up in small pieces. You'll need 3 eggs, 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 4 to 6 cups of all-purpose flour, and then extra for working on your countertop. If you are going to make it in your bread machine, I would really suggest to use the 6 cups of all-purpose. And today I actually took about 6 cups and 1/3. So you'll be able to tell if the dough is too wet and whatever to add a little more flour. The 4 to 6 cups is what you want to judge if you're making it by hand. If you're making it by hand, you might be very happy with the results of only 4 cups. So you're going to have to kind of play with it just a little bit when you're making the dough to find out how much you want to flour that you want to put in. But again, in my bread machine, I generally use 6 cups to 6 cups and 1/3. This particular dough was made in my maker, and it just came out not too long ago, and you can see how beautiful and elastic it is. It's extremely light dough. And just put quite a bit of flour onto your countertop or your board. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll it out to a 10 by 13. And as you're rolling, you just want to make a rectangle. Push out the air in the dough, and I'm just going to square this off to 10 inches. Needs just a little bit more. I'm going to turn it actually a little bit here and measure it up again here. I'm going to stretch it out a bit more with my rolling pin. Okay, and I want it 13 inches. It's got to come in just a little bit more. Okay, that's 13. And it's got to come up to 10 inches. Okay, so it's a 13 by 10. And then just push out the air. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to need a tablespoon of butter that's been melted, and just brush it on all over your dough. Like that. What you're also going to be needing is brown sugar. And for the filling, you're going to be needing 1/3 cup of a light brown sugar, or if you want to use whatever type of brown sugar that you want, that you have at home. And just sprinkle that on the top. Try to stay about 1 inch away from the border of the dough. And that was 1/3. And then I like to use about just a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon that I throw on top, a little bit, sprinkle it. And you're going to need nuts. Pecans can be used, walnuts, whatever choice of nut that you prefer to use. And that's a third of a cup. And again, just sprinkle that all over the top. Keep it about an inch away from the borders of the dough. Try to put it on as evenly as possible. There we go. And then do start on the long end of just rolling it and bringing it in like a jelly roll. These come out just beautiful. I generally get, let's see, usually 12 to even sometimes 13 of these little buns. They're great for breakfast, coffee, a cup of cappuccino, a cup of tea. And then when you get to the end, have it facing you and then just start pinching it together. Now if you're looking for cinnamon rolls, I do have a couple of them. I have the clone recipe for Cinnabon, and I do have some what's called Chelsea buns, which is a cinnamon roll. So if you're not interested in this particular sweet roll, do check out my channel. Okay, now once that you have that into a log, I find the easiest way to cut them is with a string. You can use a knife, but you don't want to press down too hard so that they all fall apart. And I generally like to make them anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half thick. And then just take your string and cross it over, and then just lay the buns on a heavily greased pan. Now, of course, if you want to make them smaller, you certainly can do that. I like to have them come out quite large. Now, you're going to bake these buns at 375 degrees, and they are going to take you anywhere from 20 minutes to 35 minutes. So you're going to have to check them. Try to put them as close as you can next to each other, because you want them to touch when they bake. This one I made just a little bit too big. I can actually cut that down later with a knife. But you can get the idea of cutting them and then just laying them down on the tray. And again, let them just touch one another so when they expand. Now, once you cut up all the buns that you have, you are going to need to cover them with a towel or a piece of oiled plastic. Because you want them to double in size. So I like to put actually a towel over them. And that's usually going to take you 30 minutes or an hour, depending on the temperature of your kitchen. But you do want them to double. I have some to show you of how they come out. And they're going to look like this. They come out large and just so delicate and light. What I also like to do is after I take them out of the oven when they're still warm, not hot, I take a tablespoon of corn syrup and a tablespoon of butter and I melt it, and then I brush the tops of them, and it gives it a nice shine, and it gives that little extra sweetness to the buns, or if you prefer to call them cinnamon rolls. I'm going to take a knife and cut one to show you what they look like here from the pan. And here you go. They're extremely light and moist. They really come out so pretty. I'm going to Let me take one more out. These rolls are best to be eaten though the day that you make them. If not, wrap them up with plastic and then in a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag, that type of thing. And you can freeze them usually up to a week to 10 days. Put them in your microwave just to warm them. They really taste the best when they come out of the oven and eat them that day. So there you go. Sticky buns. Hope you like this recipe. If you do, leave a comment. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.